Okay, hi everyone. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm gonna give a quick talk about community building. So yeah, I'm gonna first introduce myself. Joe was so nice and kind of did it already, but yeah, my name is Dominik. I graduated in 2014 from Jacobs University, which is a very small university in Germany, an international university. So we have around 800 bachelor students from 110 different nations. So we cover most of the world. But we have a very small CS faculty, and which is an important part in the background of the story that I'm going to tell. And currently I'm a software engineer at Microsoft, and yeah, I founded JacobsHack in my last year. First as an internal hackathon, and later last October as an actual big hackathon. And yeah, I'm a passionate web developer, and I love Node.js, so if you guys want to talk with me about how awesome Node.js is, feel free to talk with me about that later. Yeah, so what is this talk about? I'm going to give you a couple of hints how to get your own fellowship of the hack, that's what I call it. Essentially, what I mean with that is I'm going to give a couple of things. I'm going to tell you a couple of things that I think helped a lot for me to not anymore hack alone in Berlin at a Facebook hackathon, but actually go with a couple of friends all over Europe to join hackathons, as well as have a big, awesome hackathon at our university. For that, I actually got together five tips how to kind of get your own fellowship. So this is purely from my personal experience, so I'm more than happy to hear some of your experiences later, because I think some of you guys actually achieved awesome things as well, so feel free to get your input. But yeah, that gets me to my first point, which is get a communication channel. So what I mean with that is a couple of folks here already told me they have hack societies or computer science societies, tech societies at the university. So really a way to interact with other folks outside of the classroom. So not just an email spamming list or a Facebook group where everyone from the CS faculty is in, but actually where people who are interested in programming are in. So a way to communicate with them. We have our computer science club, which was before I came mainly for preparing for interviews. So if, usually the most active time would be around October, September, October, when everyone would interview with tech companies. We would prepare there. But nowadays we actually do quite a lot of like tech presentations there, and we show off what other people did. And this really helps because this also gets freshmen involved. So what we do in the beginning of the year, every year, is we do a Linux install fest. So basically, we grab all the freshmen, and we help them installing Linux, and actually get in contact with them like that and ask them what they would like to know over the couple of next years, what they would like to do, what they think computer science is going to be about. And yeah, this is a great way to kind of get in contact with them outside of the classroom and not just talk about academics. Tip 2, explain what hacking is really about. So I think everyone here knows what hacking is, but when you come as a freshman to the university, most likely you have no idea what hacking is. You probably know what was in the news, the bad, evil hackers, you know, and you're kind of scared about that. And from my personal experience, some people weren't even sure, like, why do I want to spend even more time outside of the classroom to program additional stuff while I already have my assignments and I'm busy with that? Why do I want to go spend a whole weekend somewhere and basically just code even more and not sleep? So basically explain them how they can benefit from that. That this is most likely what they were really thinking of when they decided they want to study computer science. Tip 3, evangelize hackathons, and I kind of misused Joe's beautiful picture here. Tip 3 and the tip 4 I'm going to introduce are kind of not really sequential, so you should do them at the same time. You can do either of them. You should do them both. But basically, find hackathons that are upcoming that are nearby, and I think UK is great for that. It's harder in Germany, for example, or I talk with the folks in Poland. It's kind of hard there because there's most probably not going to be a hackathon really around the corner that you can hop on a train for €5 and go there. And so try to find hackathons that are nearby and that have travel reimbursement, and just try to tag those freshmen, for example, along and show them what this is. Swift was talking about that. Freshmen are like going to a hackathon the first time. If you don't have the skills, and especially for freshmen, that's the case. It's just something very scary. Why you get into this risk, and it's like you don't want to get into this risk necessarily when you're a freshman. You're rather going for the safe approach. In my case, for example, after my first hackathon, you guys saw the picture in Berlin, I loved hackathons so much, I figured out there was another one from SAP, and I actually just tagged a bunch of friends along because it was a full covered weekend, including hotel and everything, so that was pretty cool. And I just grabbed a couple of folks, and from that point on, we basically got the ball rolling. More people knew what a hackathon is, why it's awesome, and they were talking with their friends about it. They started looking up on Google or Bing or something where they could find additional hackathons. And yeah, this brings me to tip 4, which is probably one of the most important ones. Organize an internal hackathon. Having the external hackathons that MLH does is great. Like I love these. I love going to them. But having an internal hackathon helps a lot before you have an actual big hackathon, and we have a couple of folks here that didn't organize one yet. So this really helps. In my case, our university was very skeptical about organizing a hackathon. They were like, we already have a startup competition. Why do we need this as well? So we're fortunate, and we had some budget in our CS Club account, and we basically organized our first kind of internal hackathon, and we got printed some T-shirts and invited some professors to present to do the judging, and got a couple of Nerf guns to make it fun, to get the people up, kind of bring over this whole hackathon spirit without them actually leaving their dorm. So this is actually done in our dorm. This was also very interesting because so up there, the room where we spend most of the time hacking was actually one of our study areas inside the dorm. So we had a lot of folks passing by that were not CS, that were constantly walking through, and they were like, "This is interesting. Why are you guys spending the whole night here?" So it was really promoting it to the whole university, this concept. Yeah. And I think for regarding this internal hackathons, especially these local hack days are a great initiative from MLH. So if you're planning a hackathon in spring or something, try to probably do a local hack day this October or something, just to see how you can get a base of people who are interested in in hacking at your university, especially if there was nothing before and you're the only one who usually goes to MLH hackathons. Or other hackathons. This is really nice because from that point on you have really a base of people that are interested. So yeah, that gets me to tip 5, ensure sustainability. So once you have a couple of folks hooked, this makes it really easy to ensure the sustainability, because at one point you're going to graduate most probably. So you want you kind of want to ensure that the moment you leave, the hackathon you founded or the hackathon you organized is not going to vanish. So for that, it's very important that you not only hook up the people that are in your year, and that's why I emphasize on those channels of communication and stuff. You want to have, for example, freshmen in your third year that are so passionate about this that they're gonna continue this tradition. So in my case, for example, JacobsHack, the actual official one, took place in October. I graduated in June already, but I met a freshman there, and he came to me and he said, actually, this is the best event of my life. And this was actually really cool because he is actually the main organizer now for the new JacobsHack. He was so passionate of that, and he was like, I want to organize the next hackathon. Do you guys need help? And he was so passionate about it. that now he's handling being actually the main organizer. So yeah, find successors for your hackathons, find successors for your clubs, and yeah, try to include freshmen as much as possible, because in the end they will spend the most time at the university, and hackathons are really something that is great for beginners, so why not include people that don't have that much knowledge yet. Yeah, any questions or input? Any personal experiences or something that helps you?
Come on, people, we must have some questions. Who here is running a society at university as well as the Hackcon? Some of you must have questions about sustainability. Go on, Bevis.
Do you think it's worth going into everyone's lectures and actually telling them about, like, introducing hackathons into the academic, like, prowess? Like, you've got an academic event, try and push it there.
This is actually interesting. We kind of did that to a certain extent. So we had a very small event before with which was a Prezi hackathon, where we would actually go into the classes and promote this again, and actually advertise this. I think it does help, especially if you have a large share not really being in contact with a society. So what we, for example, have in our case is not everyone shows up regularly to the meetings, but nevertheless we still have a Facebook group where we communicate with the folks and stuff like that, and most of the CS faculty is actually in there as well. But it definitely helps to involve the academics, also in the way of getting your professors in as judges, for example, for like internal hackathons. Because what I saw a lot is that we either had great, like during the internal hackathon, we had a great amount of hacks that were specifically for our university and were like designed to either help homework submission or improve the student directory, or we had a great game which was like, it was called Who's Jack, which was essentially grabbing the pictures and the names out of the student directory, and you had to guess which person this is based on the picture, and then it was a ranking across the whole university.
Cool. We have one more question over here.
So how did you choose your successor, and how did you pass all the information to him?
That's a fun story. So after coming back from so we knew we wanted to do a new JacobsHack, and initially it was supposed to be a spring hackathon last year or last semester, where we would have still had some of the folks that organized it initially still there, but the issue there was that our university wasn't kind of fan of the idea to have it in 2 consecutive semesters. So when I came back from BattleHack in London, I was super sleep deprived, sitting in a bus from the Dublin airport to my apartment, and I was like, I need to get JacobsHack going again. I need to make sure we need to get someone, and I contacted him immediately. Aldan, who told me that this was the greatest event he ever had, and additionally, I wrote a huge text asking for Indiana Jones Jedi Dinosaur Amazing main organizer. And we got a couple of applications, but the 2 that we found now were as passionate about this as me and my fellow founder Naomi were, and they both were so passionate, even during the event, and it was their first hackathon at that time, that we immediately knew that they should be the new main organizers.
Thank you very much, Dominik.
Just a quick.
Oh, there's more.
We have JacobsHack applications open, so feel free to apply. It's either JacobsHack.com or the bit.ly link
What's
down
the
there.
date? What's the date?
The date is October 17th. It's going to be the first one of the season.
Cool. Thank you so much.